All right, we're back today, and today's Halloween, so happy Halloween to everybody. Today we're going to be playing with Chandelure and RU. Getting right off into it. Looks like my opponent brought a pretty offensive team. Cresselia is going to be scary, sort of bulky, but we do have Pangoro. Depending on the Cresselia's investment, the Pangoro could do something, or otherwise, Pangoro looks actually really bad in this game. The Circuitry could be scary, but we do have double ground, and the double ground resists both the energy ball and the dazzling gleam, or at least is neutral, right? So they have to decide what they want to click, and it's not going to be immediately obvious for them what to click. Chandelure, when it comes in, can do a healthy chunk, and against the Cresselia, it'll definitely do a lot. But otherwise, Chandelure is pretty slow against this team. It'll outspeed Cloyster, I think, at least, so that'll be good. And then the wheezing is pretty important. This is levitate wheezing, though. It's not the neutralizing gas one, so it won't be able to neutralize the guts on Heracross. But it'll definitely be good for Crobat, and to some extent, maybe it can help with Cloyster as well. We'll see. Okay, so to formulate a strategy here, I think I want to lead off with my Seismitoad and get up Stealth Rock. Yeah, that seems fine to me. And actually, I'm just going to click knock off here first, because it looks like my opponent just decided to up and lead with their Cloyster. I'm physically defensive Seismitoad. I believe I live this. Yeah, I do. It's now Earthquake here. And that does not kill. That's crazy. Okay, well, we have to sack this, unfortunately. So now at this point, we look at Cloyster. Cloyster. Are you Shell Smash Sweeper? And they are not Life Orb, but it doesn't really matter. Focus Dash. Whatever. We look at Pangoro, and our Bullet Punch just... Oh, they're -1 defense. The -1 defense. It does 25 to 30%. So it's a roll that is not in our favor. Problem is that Ice Shard will just kill Flygon. There's not really much we can do there. What about Wheezing? Does Wheezing live this? +2 attack. It does live it. I wonder... Yeah, they almost certainly have to have Ice Shard, right? I'm gonna go with Pangoro. Like we said earlier, Pangoro doesn't do too much in this game. Okay. Well, that's extremely unfortunate. Because first of all, I could have saved the Pangoro if I knew I wasn't gonna get the roll. But also, the Wheezing was important in this game, and now it's getting super chipped. And by super chipped, I mean it's down to 30%. The Heracross can come in and get a kill. The Circuitry can come in and get a kill. The Mimikyu is free to set up if it wants, although I don't know if that's the play. And the Cresselia may want to come in as well. I could have Pain Split, so I suppose maybe Cresselia wouldn't want to. I personally would go into Heracross if I were them. I guess I would Strange Steam them at that point. But you can get a Swords Dance up. It's pretty threatening. I guess I can just sack this though and go Sigilyph after. The Sigilyph invites in the Circuitry or the Mimikyu. So I don't really know if I like that play so much. Alright. Yeah, that Cloyster really screwed me up at the beginning. If I'd let off with Wheezing, we would have been in a better position. And Wheezing wasn't a bad lead now that I look back at it. So maybe that's what I should have done. I'm a bit surprised that they went into Crobat here. This is like the one Pokemon I would have expected not to come out. I'm actually going to Sludge Bomb. Oh, what? What? There's Zen Headbutt. I was not expecting that at all. Now, unfortunately, we're Scarf Flygon, so I can't really do anything here. I'm going to go into Sigilyph here, because they have no Psychic Resist, and I'm just going to click Psychic here. Yeah, they taunt me, which, I mean, is a fair enough play. I was not expecting the Zen Headbutt. That is such a weird move. Is that standard now in RU? I mean, it's a weird move, but with the amount of Wheezing in the tier, maybe that's the thing they run now? I have no clue. Alright, I'm just going to Psychic here. There's no reason not to. And because Mimikyu will outspeed me, I am forced to go Flygon. And I'm just going to click the Earthquake. Yeah. Great. Doesn't even kill. Flygon, you're so weak. Oh, they Shadow Sneaked me. I guess that's fair. They didn't know if I was Choice Scarfed. I should have bluffed the Choice Scarf is what I should have done. But it didn't really matter. The game was over at that point anyway. Yeah, Flygon is such a bad Pokemon nowadays. Super weak, even in the tier it's in, unfortunately. Speaking of bad Pokemon, we got Chandelure right here. Chandelure is a spooky Pokemon. Pretty fun, but unfortunately, it's really bad. So, it has a really good special attack stat, and that's it. The speed stat is 80, which is not great, and it has nothing else to speak of. So it's not a good Pokemon, really. And the other big thing that Chandelure doesn't have is Focus Blast. In this game, we can see the other reason why Chandelure struggles in this tier. We've got Umbreon, and Umbreon just really shuts down a lot of these special attackers. I'm going to lead off with my Sigilif, I think. If you're Metagross, you don't want to necessarily risk Heat Wave. And if I am Togekiss, I don't know. I'm just going to click Trick here. The trick here is Flame Orb, and the idea is if they go Umbreon, then they'll get burned permanently. Unfortunately, we get on the Raikou. Going for Air Slash wasn't my only play. I don't know why they made that play. It's sort of a weird play. I can always go Seismitoad here, though. And they can't touch Seismitoad at all. So it doesn't really get them anything. I can just go for Stealth Rock now. This is going to Weezing, and they are Levitate on that. Good to know. I'm going to go back into Sigilif here, as they will-o-wisp me. So now I can't be Thunder Waved by the Togekiss, so I will take that for sure. I'm just going to go for Psychic now. Seeing as how I went for Trick last time, they may fear me to be a more scary set, and they may not want to risk the Umbreon. But hey, we got rid of the Weezing. That's one Pokemon down. Now last time, I went to Seismitoad. At this point, I don't think Sigilif does too much, so I'm just going to go for Psychic again. Yeah, now I'm going to go into Seismitoad. Apparently they're Toxic on this Raikou, which is sort of a cool play. But I don't know how I feel about that, man. Okay. And I want to keep the Seismitoad healthy if I can for Metagross. So at this point, what do we want to do? No. I need Pangoro still. Pangoro is still quite good. I'm just going to Earthquake. Yeah. I'll take a little bit of chip from Toxic, but I only have Earthquake for Metagross. I don't even know if it's weakness policy for all I know. And it's not like I wasn't going to get Toxic or Thunder Waved or something by Togekiss or... I don't know. I think it's just better to have the Raikou dead, because now their team is relatively slow. The fastest Pokemon is potentially a Scarf Togekiss. Definitely almost certainly Scarf, seeing as how they took Stealth Rock. I'm going to Toxic here just in case I can. And I can't, unfortunately. I know I just said I want to keep this for the... Oh, wow. Double crit. Which says to me that either my opponent just got extremely lucky or they are super luck. So that could be the case. In which case, now I'm going to go into Chandelure. It's only going to have occasional opportunities to get anything off. And if I can overheat here, do tons of damage to the Umbreon, I'll take it, right? And that allows me to get in my Pangoro. That's the reason why Pangoro is on this team. I knew that Umbreon was going to be a problem going into this, as well as Incineroar. Those are the two Pokemon that are really problematic for this team. Which is why we have defenses Seismitoad for the Incineroar, and Pangoro is here for the Umbreon, because Foul Play won't do anything to a very strong physical attacker, which punishes Umbreon and Bronzong and Registeel, things like that, right? So Pangoro plus Chandelure isn't bad. It's not like foolproof, but it's not bad. So now, you know, you can try to switch into this, but it's not going to really work out for you. I'm just going to close combat here because I want the Umbreon gone. And now I'm going to double here into the Chandelure because there's no way you stay in. I just showed close combat, right? And you don't have anything to touch me. Is a wish protect, foul play, heal bell, almost certainly. So even if you wanted to be saucy and predict something, there's not really anything that you can predict here. Unless you're predicting me to switch back into my Chandelure. But I have a Weezing, and that's not really going to do too much, yeah. So I'm just going to go for the Chandelure play again. This time I'm going to Flamethrower. This is a speed tie, unless they are not Choice Scarfed. They might actually just be Choice Scarfed after all. This is unfortunate. Okay. I'm gonna U-turn here. U-turn on the Togekiss, as they don't seem to care. So Sigilif here. Fair, fair, fair. Okay, I'm going to go for the Air Slash. All right. Go Flygon here. Stone Edge time. All right, now they know I'm Choice Scarfed. Because they're Choice Scarfed. Well, what do you want from me, right? I'm gonna go Weezing here. We still have this in the back. Weezing is Levitate, and we have Will-O-Wisp. So I'm just gonna throw off the Sludge Bomb. As they go for Stealth Rock. Sure, whatever. The Togekiss can't really come in. So I'm not too concerned about it. And at this point, I'm going to go into my Flygon. I want to keep the Weezing healthy. And the Flygon is really bad, as we've seen previously. I'm going to U-turn now. I don't know what they're going to go for. Maybe Toxic. Yeah, they do go for Toxic, as I thought. And I can just close combat here. They have no switch-ins to close combat. And I have to keep Pangoro around for sure. For sure. I can sack Flygon at this point. Okay, as they roost, but they are choiced into that. So I can U-turn here always. As they go into Umbreon. And we go into Pangoro. And I'm going to click Close Combat as they're going to click Protect. As they always will click Protect. Then I'm going to click double Close Combat, because this is the turn where you might want to try to click Wish, thinking I'm going to double. The Togekiss is decently low. After Stealth Rock, it'll be a 50%. So they're double protected, right. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to go into the Flygon now. There's the click Foul Play, whatever. The Weezing time. I'm going to click Strange Steam. Why would you click Foul Play there? I really don't get that play. But if my opponent wants to stall me out this way, I'm getting my recovery, which I think will be useful. I shouldn't click Sludge Bomb here, just in case. Okay, they're going to try to Wish Stall. That's fine. Actually, I don't want to defog. I'm going to go for Strange Steam again as they go Metagross. Will-O-Wisp here. They may go back into Umbreon trying to get the Synchronize Will-O-Wisp on me. But they may also just be thinking, oh, Steel type strong. So, actually more or less GG at this point. So, I don't know, I keep playing this. What kind of speed tier is Metagross running in this? Oh yeah, okay, they're definitely not speeding me. Oh well. Maybe I'm just not seeing what my opponent was seeing, but I don't think that my opponent was making the best plays there. So that's on me to play to this skill level of my opponent. I'm going to lead off with Flygon. I think that's an okay play. And I'm just going to click Earthquake. Yep, and there goes the Chandelure on my opponent's team. One of those times where he's just reminding you of why he's not a good Pokemon. Oh, look at that. Good. See, that in the 1200s, that's what I'm expecting from the ladder, right? Just people staying in, clicking buttons, not thinking. And I guess my previous opponent was also staying in clicking buttons, but they were thinking about what they were clicking. Whereas my the guy, the opposing Chandelure, was thinking, "Oh, I'm Choice Scarfed," and Flygon, I outspeed that, but she did not clearly. Okay, so this guy's got an Incineroar. Incineroar is another problem, so we've got to watch out for that. This time, I'm going to lead off with the Weezing, because if they lead off with a Cloyster, that's a problem. And I can go into Flygon here on the Xurkitree. I don't know what they're going to go for, but Flygon doesn't do too much in this game. And if it can do anything, it can do it on the Xurkitree. I'm just going to click Earthquake now. The entire team is grounded, so it seems like I spoke a little bit too soon, because they're going to actually give me Incineroar like half of its health, which really helps out my Chandelure. So actually Flygon did something in this game. Great, great, great. Okay. Unfortunately, what's not great is the Cloyster comes in and does the same nonsense as it did last time. And this is White Herb, which is a bit unfortunate. But it is down to half health now. So Weezing comes in, and let's just double check that calc. Weezing against Cloyster at neutral does 65, yeah. So we gotta sack the Weezing now. Sludge Bomb. Imagine if Cloyster in this tier got King's Rock. That would be insane. So we're back down to that 30% range, but we got rid of the Cloyster and we got rid of the Incineroar, which is really fantastic. The Gardevoir comes out and they can click Moonblast or Psychic. I'm going to stay in as they do click Psychic, so that's fine for my opponent. I can go into Chandelure now. If they are Choice Scarf or Choice Specs, then they, will do a decent chunk, but that's about it. But they have no Shadow Ball switch-ins. And I actually win a potential speed tie there, which is really nice. I'll take that for sure. Let's look at Rhyperior. I don't think most of them would ever run in the RU tier Assault Vest. I feel like that's a really limiting thing for them. It looks like that the max HP, max Sp.Atk one, we only do 50%. So I think at this point, I want to go into my Pangoro, actually. I could have gone potentially... Why did the Rock Slide? Earthquake is... I guess Residual just in case. Yeah, the reason I didn't go into Seismitoad was because I need to keep the Seismitoad for Xurkitree. But now I can just close combat, and now the Rhyperior is basically dead as they Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock is okay, because my Chandelure will take 25%, but I really don't think that was worth it for my opponent. Now you go into Machamp. I'm actually going to stay in, because I don't need this anymore. And if you're adamant, I actually outspeed and kill you. And then if they're choiced Xurkitree, then they can't click Energy Ball or whatever, because then that wouldn't do anything to Sigilyph. So they're basically dead at that point. All right, not bad. Let's see if we can get another one. So I don't know if that makes up for those first two losses, but we got 2 wins back to back to at least even out the score, such as it is. Let's see. Yeah, so Chandelure doesn't get Focus Blast. That's another big thing that Chandelure has not going for it. Doesn't have a fighting move. So because of that, it can't beat the dark types that come in on it, or the normal types that come in on it. Now this team is one that gets abused by Chandelure if it comes in on Surfetched. It'll outspeed Surfetched, and it's a speed tie with Lucario. No, I think Lucario is base 90. But in theory, there's no switch-ins to Chandelure. If I were Choice Scarf, it would be a lot better. I guess Melodic as well if it's weakened. Okay. I'm going to lead off with Pangoro. The reason is Pangoro doesn't do anything in this game. And if I can just get off a really strong close combat on something, I will take it. Right, nothing switches into close combat. Definitely not that. I don't know how much speed Melodic is running, but as you can see, that took way too much. And so the Melodic is dead. Unfortunately, that was like the one thing that you could have Chandelure come out and like, get a kill. So that's a bit unfortunate. Adamant Surfetched. they run adamant, right? So that's 166 for 0 speed. And 252 is 229. And so that allows speed Pangoro. That's fine. Let's see. The Sigilif isn't bad, but not on this turn. And this is scrappy, so we can't go Chandelure, but that's fine. I wasn't gonna go into Chandelure anyway. I think the play here is actually to go into Weezing. As they go for Steel Wing. I mean, that's fine, I guess. I'm actually going to Sludge Bomb here. Oh, wow. That actually killed. Nice roll. Actually, no, that's not a roll. Never mind. They got 55 and then there's 50. Okay, never mind. Not going to complain about that then. I'm going to go Sigilif now. That's what we're going to do. And I think you go Metagross here. I don't think you stay in. And even if they do, then I'll give them the Flame Orb at the end of the turn. Wow. They went Entei of all things. Very interesting. Okay. Now would they go for a fire move? I think they would not. I'm gonna go Seismitoad here always. As they go for Crunch. Interesting move to have on your set. At this point, I go for Stealth Rock. As I go Surf Etched. I go for Knockoff. I don't know what they have. I think it's another choice band on this. It would be funny if it was 5 choice band Pokemon and Melodic. It's super weird. Okay, as they go for Close Combat, and they were choice band. I was almost positive they were. Earthquake here. Why not? Get some damage off on the Surf Edge. As they go for knockoff of their own. And they can go, I guess, into their Flygon, but they may be fearing Scald, in which case they wouldn't necessarily want to hard switch into Flygon. The Seismitoad is the standard one they have in the builder, and it does not come with Scald. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think getting rid of knockoff might be nice in certain situations. It was, of course, nice to have knockoff here, but it's a little bit weird still. I'm gonna go for Toxic here. I don't think they're sub Dragon Dance. Nope, they're First Impression. Interesting enough. I wonder if that's choice banded First Impression. I'm gonna go Pangoro here, and I'm just gonna click Close Combat. Same as turn 1, right? I think that's what my plan is gonna be for Flygon in this team. Just Pangoro doesn't switch into anything, but you can't switch into me either. And now Metagross will almost certainly outspeed me, and I can do whatever the heck it wants. But apparently this Metagross did not outspeed me. It must have been like max defense, and that might actually be the reason why they lived, right? Look at Pangoro. We'll look at the Stealth Rock set. Sure, why not? That one. Oh yeah, you can see that one in particular does not outspeed Adamant Pangoro. I don't know what this EV spread does, but if you're not outspeeding Pangoro, that seems like a problem to me. All right. And at this point, I will go into my Sigilif, I think. I have to go for Sacred Fire. And now they're going to go for Crunch. Always. So I'm actually going to go into Flygon here. Well, actually, why am I saving this? There's no reason for me to save this. No reason at all. They go for Extreme Speed, actually. They're showing me their entire set. Crunch, Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, and then what? Stomping Tantrum. Stone Edge, who knows? Alright. Flygon, I think, is always the play here. And I go for the Earthquake. Yeah, let's just Earthquake you and kill you. Now we go into Pangoro again. Because the Pangoro dies to Lucario, right? So now you go for Outrage. Alright. This is one of those things that I always struggle with in this tier. Let's say it's Choice Scarfed against my Choice Scarf Flygon. Outrage, of course, kills each other, right? So then you force a speed tie. If we have, however, the Chandelure come out, the Outrage does not kill. But the Shadow Ball, well, the Shadow Ball, it might be in range of. It's a roll. I think I'd rather take that roll than. Oh, okay. So it is not. It is not. Jolly is adamant. Well, that's very unfortunate. So because it's Jolly instead of adamant, the Lucario can come in and do whatever the heck it wants. And I should just have extreme speed and kill right here. If not, I think I can get a crit and kill. It's funny, but yeah, they're extreme speed. Okay, so maybe I should have accounted for adamant choice scarf Flygon. That just seems like a really bad set to me. But I wasn't thinking that would be a thing. Okay. In this game, I'm going to lead off with Flygon. The reason being, they could lead off with Raikou. They could have their own choice scarf Flygon, and Indeedee could be choice scarfed with expanding force, and that just seems like annoying. I'd like to get rid of that if I can. Normal type that's going to stop the Chandelure from doing stuff. All right. If I decide to go for, I'm just gonna go hard Flygon or Weezing here, as that works out for me actually quite well. And a Sludge Bomb here. The reason is it could go Charizard. I think neither of us wanted to risk the V-tie, which I can respect. But imagine though if I'd gone for U-turn, like a madman, that would have been not a great play. And that is a really tanky Charizard, I believe. So, yeah, Seismitoad it is. Okay, and I'm going to click Toxic. This is probably Toxic on its own, if I had to guess. Click Stealth Rock here now. And now I'm going to go into my Chandelure. Okay, and then I'm going to just click the Flamethrower as the defog in the end. Okay, that's fun. And the Blastoise can come out and Shell Smash up, which is an issue. But they actually do go in DD, funnily enough. And if they click Expanding Force, then I can go into my... Yeah, I don't know, but I don't need the Chandelure anymore. That's the main thing. Is they go for Hyper Voice, actually. That was a huge over prediction. Why would you do that? I feel like Blastoise should have always just been the thing that comes out and messes me up, right? That makes sense to me. I'm just going to stay in and go for Flamethrower here. And actually, I think I'm going to go for another Flamethrower here. Yep. And then I'm going to go into Seismitoad. Why not? And then, just really fast. Because the main thing I have to install is the Psychic Terrain, right? Once the Psychic Terrain goes down, then we can get Bullet Punch off. So let's check, though, if that Bullet Punch will kill Blastoise. Blastoise, Arya Showdown usage. -1 defense. Bullet Punch does 17 to 20%. So it is in range. So now I have to decide what I want to sack. I actually think the Seismitoad's like meh. It's good for the Raikou though. What is not good is probably the Sigilif. I'm just going to toss that out. Don't need that. Kangor will come out. I'm going to click Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is not a bad thing to be locked into, except for against the Raikou. But the Raikou can't really do too much to the Seismitoad. At this point, I don't need the Pangoro, so I'm just going to Bullet Punch here. I think that's a fine play. And, what is the standard Mimikyu running? Are you Swords Dance? They're running Jolly, so I'm not going to risk Chandelure speed. I don't know if it even could. I'm going to go Weezing here. And I'm going to click the Will-O-Wisp. To go Raikou on that, which is fine. But I can easily go into the Seismitoad here on you. And just click Earthquake, because they have Aura Sphere. And Earthquake is fine. But now I go Flygon. And I go for Earthquake again, because we don't mess around with these threats. Then I can go into Weezing. And even if they predict that, then what? I Strange Steam, Do they have Iron Tail? No, they have Stone Edge. And I'm a 2k on them. They're not a 2k on me, even with a crit. So that's okay with me. And now I think Earthquake may just win. They play rough there. The Will-O-Wisp again. I think Will-O-Wisp is better than the other moves I can go for. And it looks like they may not even have Shadow Claw. Now I can click Sludge Bomb safely. I think, yeah. And they're Life Orb, so this won't even kill. And then I have Flygon to kill in the back. So we'll just Sludge Bomb here. And Flygon gets to click Earthquake. And so that'll be GG right there. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we can get one more win. I want to see Chandelure do a bit more. Chandelure is one of those Pokemon that should, I think, fall down to NU, or at least NU BL. It might be a little bit too strong for NU because it does have 145 special attack. But, and NU doesn't have a few key things, expressly being Incineroar and Umbreon. And so therefore it might be a bit too strong there. But there's no reason why it should be ranked RU in my opinion. It's just not that strong. Look, Porygon 2, there's another one. At least with Porygon 2, you could say, hey, there's a reason for it to be here. Okay, I'm going to click the Flamethrower as they are Focus Sash variety. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. 262. The only things that speed that are these two. I'm just going to go into that, and that'll be okay. Just click Air Slash here. So it seems like a pretty common trend to have your Cloyster lead off Focus Sash and just mess up a team. And that was in part why I figured, hey, why don't I lead off with the Chandelure this time, just in case they lead off with the Cloyster again. I don't want to have them mess me up. And if they lead off with the Porygon 2, I could always trick it if I wanted to as well. Okay. And now I can just click Earthquake very safely. Click Toxic on you. Actually, I'm going to click Knockoff. I think Knockoff is a bit better, because then it'll be weaker. All right. And then I'm going to get Stealth Rock up. Stealth Rock will mean the Cloyster can't come back in. And I will Toxic you. I am letting my Seismitoad get weakened, but he's doing a lot of things that need to happen, right? He's ensuring the Cloyster dies when it comes back in. It's weakening the Marowak. It's weakening the Incineroar, assuming it's not heavy duty boots, but it almost certainly is. You know, stuff like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Flygon. They may go for the Dazzling Gleam, and if they do, good on them. But yeah, see, I'm neutral against that, so I don't care. And at this point, I'm just going to click Earthquake. As they go Porygon 2. And they trace my Levitate. I forgot about the trace and the Levitate thing. Okay, I'm going to go into my Pangoro here. You don't really have anything for Pangoro. Like, look at your close combat switch-ins. You don't have any. So, Porygon 2 dice. That's good. I like that. Xergatry gets to come out now. And I'm going to go for the close combat again. Actually click Dazzling Gleam this time. I go into Seismitoad. And I'm going to click Earthquake. They are +1 special attack. But that does not kill me. And I kill them back. So at this point, they don't really have too much on their team that's fast and is a threat. Which I think is really quite useful. The Cloyster is dead. And the Nidoqueen outspeeds the Seismitoad almost surely. I almost put a Nidoqueen on this team. Nidoqueen's a really fun Pokemon. The Flygon has to be preserved. And I accidentally clicked Flygon. Did not mean to do that. But it actually works out because they go for Fake Out, which is a really weird... I mean, it's not a weird play. I just never expect them to have Fake Out. Let's go with the Sp.Atk version just in case. Give it as much bulk as possible. That is 50 to 60%. So I'm going to U-turn out. As that actually doesn't really work out too well for me. Because now I'm locked into that. I would have preferred to have been locked into Earthquake. Even if they're Scarf Nidoqueen, this doesn't matter. I can U-turn out here. As their Poison Point. Right. Got it. Okay, I'm going to sack my Seismitoad. And then I'm going to click Earthquake. Because they went for Stealth Rock. And this Nidoqueen almost surely outspeeds me, right? How much does 0 speed Nidoqueen have? Nidoqueen, if you're 0 speed, like bold, 188. Yeah, so you have to, wait, what? Oh no. Okay, so they were 0 speed. So we see here Nidoqueen has 188 speed if it's running a non-boosting nature with 0 EVs. So they are extremely bulky Nidoqueen and also physical. So it was extremely fortunate that I actually hit them there, because otherwise it would have been a problem. Because I wouldn't have killed with other guys. I'm gonna go Sigilif here. Reason is I need to keep my Flygon for the end game, and I don't want to let it get chipped by the Incineroar. I'm gonna go for Air Slash here. Just because the Psychic would have killed, but it would have let the Incineroar come in for free. And so I think this is probably a safer bet. The main thing is we need to have the Incineroar get in here so it can go for its stupid fake out nonsense. Okay, we Air Slash it, that's fine. And now it can come in, and I'm going to Sludge Bomb here as a parting shot. So maybe predicting them to switch would have been nice, because then I could have gone Flygon, I'm not sure. I was not predicting that. What did Protect get you there? Very strange. I'm going to click Defog here. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now click Earthquake. Oh, I see they're in the Toxic Stall. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let's go for it. Go again. I was really close that game. I think I probably screwed up the end game there a bit, though. I don't know where. But I think I did. Yeah. I'll have to go back and rewatch that game. I don't necessarily regret the turn 1 play of sacking the Chandelure to the Cloyster, because the Cloyster has really been annoying, and if it hadn't been Focus Sash, then it would have just straight up died. Okay, and I think this is the guy we previously beat. So I'm going to lead off with the Chandelure against this guy, as they lead off with the Incineroar. I'm going to go Seismitoad then. Go for Darkest Lariat. And Darkest Lariat is not really the best move to have on Incineroar, except for if you're worried about a +6 Registeel or some nonsense. I'm going to go for Stealth Rock here, as they go into Cloyster. And just go for Earthquake. Go for Earthquake again. We got the Stealth Rock up at least, so that's nice. Okay. And then we have to go into the Weezing. We have to Sludge Bomb here. This doesn't kill them, I don't think, but it doesn't kill us either, and that's the main thing. Then I can just go for the Bullet Punch, and they can't switch out without dying. And they have no hazard removal on this team still. And they may have Ice Shard, that'll be sad. But this Pangoro doesn't usually need its HP stat, as far as I can tell. Actually, why would you do this? Gardevoir, Ari Choice Scarf against Pangoro. 71 to 84%. I guess it doesn't quite kill yet. I'm just gonna go Sigilif. Gonna go for Moonblast. Fair enough. I'm gonna go into Chandelure now, though. I'm actually gonna double here into the Pangoro. Okay. Forfeit there. Why did they stay in there? The Moonblast wouldn't have killed me, and I would have killed him with Shadow Ball. I guess they just wanted the safe switch in. I just had to hope my opponent would choke there, I think. All right. In this game, we have a Sharpedo, which is actually sort of a threat against this team, especially if it has Psychic Fangs. So we'll have to see what they end up having. I'm going to lead off with Sigilif, though, notwithstanding the Sharpedo, because they're really Psychic weak, aside from the Sharpedo and the Metagross. So I can just click Psychic here. And Focus Sash. But this prevents... I'm going to Air Slash here just in case. It's a little bit risky. Psychic is always safer. But, you know, just in case. I decided to go Sharpedo. Now, at this point, the Sigil still outspeeds the Roserade. So I think I might want to save it for that. I'm going to go into the Flygon here, actually, because they should go for Shadow Sneak. They're going for Shadow Claw, of all things. I'm going to go for U-turn here. And then I will, another Life Orb. I'm going to go for Play Rough here, almost certainly. I guess maybe they expected the Wheezing is probably what they expected. And so they just wanted to get off the most amount of damage possible. And I guess the other thing is that because they had Disguise, then I couldn't kill them. But it seemed like keeping their Disguise still would be valuable. I don't know. What do I know? Will-O-Wisp here on the Mimikyu. Gotta, unfortunately, sack the Wheezing for the Mimikyu. But I think that's okay by me. Gonna go into my Pangoro here because Pangoro doesn't do too much in this game. And if I can get off a Bullet Punch here, then the Mimikyu dies, and that's the most value I think I'm gonna get out of Pangoro. In theory, it is nice against Sharpedo, and so I think I'm gonna save it just in case. But that's just sort of what I'm thinking here. All right, at this point, I'm gonna actually go into Chandelure. As they go for a Spike, and I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower, as they have Noivern. But you can see that is a 2K right there on the Noivern. Noivern is pretty frail. And they can go Sharpedo now and kill me. But that's fine. I've resigned myself to that fate. They might also be able to go back into Roserade and kill me. I don't know. Just sack this. Okay, it's a special Sharpedo, which is good to know. If you are special Shark, specially based mixed cleaner. Yeah, something like this maybe. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I would have close combat still for the Pangoro. And at +1 speed, the Flygon still outspeeds you, but you have Protect. Would you go into it? Or would you go for Protect, sorry? What I mean to say? Then you have to, oh, I guess you can go for Dark Pulse. I'm in range of Dark Pulse. Let's go to Seismitoad and see what the Seismitoad takes. Doesn't take very much. An Earthquake does a good amount. So I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to go into the Seismitoad, go for the Earthquake. And we can see that does way too much. I'm going to go here into the Pangoro and let them Leaf Storm me. That's okay. And then I'm going to go into the Flygon and Earthquake. Flygon and Earthquake gets a kill on the Roserade. It gets a kill on the Sharpedo like we saw. And it doesn't let the Metagross come in. I'm actually going to just double check here. Earthquake does 97% min. So I'm going to stay in. They have to get a double Protect if they want to live this, which they may not be aware of. So if they stay in and don't go for double Protect, then unless my calc is lying to me, they are rash nature here. But I'm going to assume that that's the one they were running. So yeah, good. So what did Chandelure get to do in this game? Oh yeah, 2-hit KO'd with Flamethrower, the Noivern. That was pretty hype. Or at least as hype as you're going to get on this channel. But yeah, no, that is Chandelure in a nutshell. Chandelure is not very strong. Of course, its special attack stat is strong, like we saw. Noivern comes in 2-hit KO'd by Flamethrower. Choice Specs, of course, but it's still a Flamethrower. It's not that strong. It's not close combat or Flare Blitz, right? So, of course, it's offensively powerful, especially with Choice Specs, but 80 base speed, that's not a great speed tier, and if you run Choice Scarf, it's a bit more salvageable, but as you can see, even in this tier, Flygon, Common Choice Scarfer, 100 base speed, can outspeed you. The only Choice Scarfer that you probably outspeed, I think, is Xurkitree, and actually, I think, is Xurkitree 73 or 83? Xurkitree Choice Scarf. Yeah, it's 83, so Xurkitree outspeeds you. So you don't really get any choice scarfers that draw speeding. Now, it is nice for the non-choice scarfers, of course, but ultimately you're a lot weaker and you're still prediction reliant. And the presence of Umbreon and the Porygon 2 or the any other normal type that stops your Shadow Ball, plus Umbreon or Incineroar, which just stop everything you want to do, really mean that it gets punished a lot. And if it had a fighting move like Focus Blast, it would have something, because Specs Focus Blast is probably going to be a 2-hit KO on Umbreon, if you're lucky. And by lucky, I mean if you hit Umbreon. Let's look at this. Are you defensive? Sure, why not? That's the max Sp.Atk set. Let's just pretend that you get Focus Blast, even though you don't. Focus Blast. And Focus Blast does be a 2-hit KO. So even after 2 turns of leftovers, I'm pretty sure that's a 2-hit KO. So that's really good, but it doesn't get it. So because it doesn't get it, and we can go over here and we can see that if I look down here, Focus Blast, that is not on the list. All right, it's nowhere to be seen on here, and it does not get Aura Sphere either. So because it doesn't get a fighting move, Chandelure is really not it. That's not a good Pokemon. I think that it has to have that at the bare minimum. And then look at this stat distribution, right? You got 90 in both of your defensive stats, but only with 60 HP, so you're never going to take any hits. So why would you even bother investing in this? Give it, 70-70, and then put the extra 20 or 40 points into speed. Now it's a 145, 120, and it's a glass cannon, right? I think that would be better. I think the other thing, right, while I'm thinking about it, maybe change the Chandelure from Flash Fire, because Flash Fire doesn't really do you any good. I'm going to change it to Infiltrator just because. So I'll put that in the paste bin in the comment or in the description, like I always do. But yeah, that's Chandelure, and that's our Halloween special with Chandelure, and I'll catch you guys next time.